Welcome to Kieu Jung's channel. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Today, we invite you to join the journey of a single mother, Sùng Luyên, and her daughter, Kieu Dung.
In the early morning, inside a small, humble cottage in the countryside, peace gently fills the air. Birds sing cheerfully, as if welcoming a brand new day. Once again, mother and daughter begin their familiar journey. Together, they prepare to climb the mountain, gathering fresh, wild vegetables in hopes of selling them to earn enough for milk and a few sweet candies for little Kieu Dung. Along the wide path leading up the tall mountain, their small figures slowly fade into the green of the trees. On each of their backs rests a simple bamboo basket, a faithful companion that carries not only the harvest to be sold, but also their modest dreams and quiet hopes for a brighter tomorrow.
Dewdrops still rest gently on the petals and blades of grass along the path, sparkling like tiny jewels beneath the morning sun. The mountain road stretches on, rough and winding, yet the mother and daughter keep walking with steady steps, without a single complaint. In the mother's eyes shines quiet perseverance and deep love, while in little Kieu Jung's innocent smile is the simple joy of hoping for a box of milk or a few sweet candies. Their journey is more than just gathering vegetables. It is a journey of hope, carried by the sacred bond between mother and child. They soon reach a narrow trail that winds upward into the mountain. All around them, tall trees form a green canopy, their branches swaying gently in the cool morning breeze. In the distance, a veil of mist hangs low, covering the path ahead like a mysterious curtain. The wildflowers blooming along the roadside seem to bow in greeting, as if welcoming mother and daughter on their morning journey. Step by step, they pass through a cornfield long since harvested, leaving only rows of dry stalks standing as silent witnesses of a past season. The earth beneath their feet is soft, carrying the scent of soil and fallen leaves. The sound of their footsteps mingles with the distant call of birds, creating a rhythm of life both simple and profound. Finally, after their steady climb, they arrive at a small clearing, a humble plot of land where wild vegetables grow in abundance. It is here that their daily labor begins. With practiced hands, Sùng Luyên starts searching among the greenery, gently plucking each tender shoot of wild vegetable. She knows which leaves are fresh, which stems are best for cooking, and she carefully places them into her bamboo basket. Beside her, little Kieu Dung eagerly imitates her mother, reaching for the smaller plants within her grasp. Though her hands are small, her eyes shine brightly with determination, proud to be helping. The baskets slowly begin to fill, one handful at a time, with the simple but precious harvest that will soon be exchanged for milk and sweet treats. Around them, the mist lingers heavily, rolling through the trees and settling over the mountain like a soft blanket. The air is cool and damp, and their figures seem to drift in and out of the fog as they move. In this quiet, cloud-covered world, their presence feels both fragile and strong. Two lives bound together, carrying hope and love through the misty morning.
Time seems to move slowly on the misty mountainside. The air is cool and damp, carrying the earthy scent of wet soil and fallen leaves. Bent low among the thick greenery, Sùng Luyên carefully parts the plants with her hands, searching for the freshest shoots. Each tender sprout she finds is gently broken off and placed neatly into her bamboo basket. Beside her, little Kieu Dung follows closely, her small fingers clumsy but eager. She points excitedly whenever she spots a green shoot peeking through the undergrowth. Sometimes she pulls too quickly, bringing along a handful of dirt and roots, and her mother chuckles softly, showing her how to pick just the right part. These small lessons, passed down in the quiet of the fog, carry with them not only survival, but love and patience. As they move deeper into the clearing, they notice a few young bamboo shoots pushing their way through the damp earth. Sùng Luyên kneels down, digs gently around the base with her hands, and frees the tender mang, bamboo shoots that will add variety to their basket. Each shoot is a little gift from the forest, promising another small portion to sell, another step closer to milk and sweets for her daughter. Kieu Dung watches her mother carefully, then tries it herself. Her tiny hands scrape away the soil, and with effort, she manages to pull up a smaller bamboo shoot. She beams with pride as she places it into her own little basket. Her mother smiles, her eyes soft, as if the fog around them cannot hide the warmth of that moment. The two continue their work steadily, side by side, their figures partly hidden in the drifting mist. Every rustle of leaves, every quiet snap of a stem blends with the distant calls of mountain birds. Time passes in this rhythm of nature and labor. The baskets grow heavier, slowly filling with green vegetables and bamboo shoots. Though the mountain is silent and shrouded, the bond between mother and daughter brings life to the scene. Their persistence is not just for today's meal or tomorrow's needs, but a reflection of love that carries them through each misty morning. In the simple act of gathering food, they are also gathering hope, handful by handful, shoot by shoot.
The mountain remains wrapped in silence, its slopes covered by drifting mist that thickens with each passing moment. Sùng Luyên moves carefully through the undergrowth, her hands brushing aside wet leaves and vines as she continues to pick the tender shoots of wild vegetables. Every few steps, she pauses to scan the ground, trained by years of experience to know exactly where the best greens grow. The fog coils around her, sometimes swallowing her figure until only the faint outline of her basket can be seen. Her breathing is steady, her body bent low with quiet determination. Each sprig she gathers may seem small, but to her, every handful carries weight. It means nourishment, a little more money, a little more comfort for her daughter. The mountain may be cold, the mist may be thick, but her spirit does not waver. Not far behind, little Kieu Dung grows tired from the long climb and the steady morning's work. She finds a spot along the dirt path and sits down, her legs stretched out before her. The earth is cool and damp beneath her, and she traces little shapes in the soil with her fingers. Pebbles and fallen leaves become her toys, keeping her occupied as she rests. The faint sound of her mother moving among the plants drifts through the mist, giving her a sense of comfort, even though she cannot always see her. From time to time, Kieu Dung calls softly, her small voice carrying through the fog. "Mother, I'm tired," she whispers, though not in complaint, but as if to remind her mother she is still waiting. Sùng Luyên straightens for a moment, her silhouette half hidden in the haze, and answers with a gentle voice, calm but filled with love. "Rest a little, my child. Mother will finish soon, and then we'll go home together." Reassured, the little girl nods and curls her knees to her chest, watching the mist drift like white smoke over the ground. She plucks a wildflower growing by the path and holds it in her hands, twirling it slowly, her thoughts simple and innocent. Meanwhile, Sùng Luyên bends once more to her work. She moves with patience, never rushing, for she knows the mountain gives only to those who respect its rhythm. The basket on her back grows steadily heavier, filled with fresh shoots and the tender bamboo she found earlier. Each addition is placed carefully, as if she understands the quiet value of every piece of food the earth provides. The mist grows denser, swirling so heavily that sometimes even the trees seem to vanish, their outlines fading into gray. Yet within this clouded silence, there is a beauty. Two lives bound together, surviving through love and persistence. The mother works on, her body stooped against the weight of both basket and responsibility, while the daughter waits patiently, playing with the simple treasures of the earth at her side. This moment, though quiet and ordinary, speaks of something much greater, the strength of a mother's devotion and the gentle endurance of a child learning to trust in that love. And so, in the heart of the mist-covered mountain, their story continues, woven into the rhythm of rustling leaves, the hush of drifting fog, and the steady hands of a mother who never gives up.
At last, the basket on Sùng Luyên back is filled to the brim with fresh wild vegetables and bamboo shoots. She wipes the mist from her forehead with the back of her hand, then calls gently to her daughter. Kieu Dung stands up quickly, brushing the dirt from her clothes, and runs to her mother's side. Together, they adjust the straps of their bamboo baskets, preparing for the long walk home. Step by step, they retrace their path down the narrow mountain trail. The mist is still thick, wrapping around them like a white curtain, but now the weight of their harvest presses gently against their backs, a reminder of the fruit of their hard work. Their footsteps crunch softly on the damp soil, sometimes slipping on stones, yet they continue hand in hand, the mother steady and the daughter trusting. The winding trail eventually leads them back to the larger road at the foot of the mountain. Here the world feels different, no longer quiet and hidden in fog, but alive with the distant sounds of passing motorbikes and trucks. The sight of moving vehicles fascinates little Kieu Dung. She watches each one intently, as if they were stories rushing by. Tired from the long climb, the two find a spot along the roadside and sit down to rest. The baskets beside them are heavy with the morning's harvest, their fragrance mingling with the cool, damp air. Sùng Luyên reaches into her pocket and takes out a small cloth to wipe her daughter's face, smiling softly as she does. Kieu Dung leans against her mother's shoulder, her eyes half closed, but content. In this brief pause, amidst the noise of the road and the lingering mist, there is a quiet peace. The world rushes on around them, but for this mother and daughter, the simple act of resting together on the roadside carries all the warmth and meaning of home. Their journey is not yet finished, but for now, they share a moment of stillness, side by side, carrying with them love, hope, and the fruits of their labor.
After the long journey down the mountain, at last mother and daughter arrive at the edge of the village. The mist still lingers faintly in the air, but here life feels more familiar. Sounds of voices, the occasional passing motorbike, and the scent of earth mixed with smoke from nearby houses. Along the roadside, large logs are stacked neatly, waiting to be carried away. Sùng Luyên and her daughter take a seat upon them, resting their tired legs. With practiced hands, the mother begins to untie the basket on her back. One by one, she brings out the bundles of fresh wild vegetables. Still damp with mountain dew, their green leaves vibrant against the gray of the misty morning. Carefully, she arranges them into small piles, each tied with a thin strip of bamboo, ready for customers. Beside her, little Kieu Dung helps as best as she can. Her small hands straighten the bundles, patting the leaves into place, proud to take part in her mother's work. She looks around curiously at the road, watching each passerby, her eyes bright with anticipation. Perhaps someone will stop soon and buy their harvest. The roadside is alive with color. Wildflowers bloom along the ditch, their petals opening wide in the cool air, like tiny flags of welcome. Against this backdrop, the image of mother and child sitting quietly among their bundles of vegetables feels both simple and beautiful. There they wait, side by side, two figures who have walked a long road together. Their baskets are empty now, But before them lies the reward of their labor, the hope that someone passing by will see the freshness of their greens, stop and make a purchase. For Sùng Luyên, it is more than just selling vegetables. It is another step in providing for her daughter, another small victory in the quiet, everyday journey of love and perseverance.
The minutes pass slowly as mother and daughter sit patiently by the roadside. The bundles of wild vegetables rest neatly before them, their freshness still glistening faintly with mountain dew. From time to time, the little girl glances at each passerby with hope in her eyes, wondering if someone will stop. At last, after a long wait, a woman carrying a small basket comes walking along the road. She pauses, notices the fresh greens, and steps closer. With a kind smile, she chooses a few bundles. Coins clink gently as she hands them over. For most, it may be just a simple exchange, but for Sùng Luyên and her daughter, it means so much more. Little Kieu Dung's face lights up instantly. She holds the money carefully in her small hands, her eyes sparkling with joy. It is as if all the tiredness from the mountain climb has melted away in that single moment. The mother watches her daughter's happiness with a quiet smile, her heart warmed by the thought that today's effort was not in vain. Not long after, a young boy walking home from school passes by. His uniform is slightly dusty from the road, but his steps are light. He notices the bundles of vegetables and stops. After a short exchange, he too buys a few handfuls to take home. Once again, joy fills the air between mother and daughter. Their simple harvest, gathered in the mist of the mountains, is now slowly finding its way into the homes of others. Though a few bundles still remain, the mother decides it is enough. She gently gathers them up and places them back into her basket. "We will take these home," she says softly. "Tonight we'll make a warm soup." The little girl nods eagerly, already imagining the taste of hot broth with fresh vegetables after a long day. Together, they stand, their baskets lighter now, but their hearts full. Step by step, they walk toward the small candy shop at the edge of the village. The moment they arrive, Kieu Dung's eyes widen with excitement. Inside, the shelves are filled with brightly wrapped sweets and small boxes of milk. With the money they have earned, Sùng Luyên carefully chooses a carton of milk and a few candies. She hands them to her daughter, who clutches them with pure delight. To the little girl, it feels like a treasure beyond measure. As they step back out onto the road, the mist still hangs low, the flowers along the roadside still in bloom. The world seems simple, yet full of meaning. For this mother and child, today's journey has ended not just with food and small treats, but with love, perseverance, and the quiet joy of sharing life together. And now, their story pauses here. Two humble lives teaching us about strength, hope, and the beauty of everyday sacrifices. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please remember to like, subscribe, and share so more people can follow along on their journey.